Hey guys, it's Alexis, and as you guys know, I've been very intentional about my art journey in the last few years, and these are a few things that I've realized are very important in your journey as an artist. So the first thing is to practice, practice, practice. One thing about art is that is the most obvious endeavor you can do in life, where it's like you have to be very diligent about where you want to be. If you say that you want to have a certain art style, you have to work towards that. If you say you want to improve your technique, you have to work towards that. If you want to get better at a certain medium, you have to work towards that. One thing about art is that you can sit here, you can think about it, but until you actually just get up, try, and allow yourself to be okay with potential failure, you will never see that destination. One thing about art is that you get to see in real time your progress. And even now that I'm more confident in my art journey, I feel just better overall. There are still times when I have art and I'm like, this is crap. But I've learned to love even those moments where the art is kind of But regardless, I notice that when I'm doing it every single day, or just very often, even if it's every other day or once a week, I notice that it's better and better. Each piece is better than the last one. But when I take a long break, girl, it's whack. It's whack. I'm not gonna lie. But when I sit here and I draw, or I pick up my camera, whatever, and it's like I get that surge of energy, and then I'm forcing myself to grow. I'm forcing myself to learn new things. When I'm doing self-portraits, I notice different things about my face I didn't notice before. When I see other art forms, I'm like, wow, that's cool. And when I try to emulate, different art styles, different techniques, try the new mediums, it's like, oh, this is something new that I can try. This is something cool I can try. And again, you have to allow yourself to mess up at first. My next point is that you should always believe in your art. I feel like I hear a lot of artists say that their art is not good, or that they're not a good artist, and I feel like that reality will be true as long as you believe in that. I think that's very silly. And I think that the main people I hear say that are the main people who are always complimenting on their art. The main people who are like, oh, my art business will never be successful, that's why I don't sell. Or, oh my God, I'm just a commission artist. Like, no, I won't buy my stuff because, oh, girl, be quiet. Like, just put yourself out there. And the worst thing that can happen, people may hate, but even if other people hate, you should still be your number one supporter. Even if other people don't see that potential in you, who cares? You should see that potential in yourself. One thing about life is that you will not get anywhere unless you have full faith in where you will be. And until you get over whatever fears or doubts, self-talk, negative self-talk you have, you will never ever be anywhere in life. But when I see artists specifically, they feel like they should settle for things, traditional jobs, careers that do not please them. They feel like they should lower their prices to peanuts, $5 for something that took them like 40 hours to make. They feel like they should give up and just focus on something that's more realistic. But anyone who actually believes in themselves, baby, they are living life and they get to do what they love. And when I see people like that, they are so inspiring to me. And when I hear people say their art is not good enough, it breaks my heart, because anything you do in life, even your art, can be more than good enough. But when you sit here and you talk down on yourself or your dreams, that is a moment that you are a failure. But it is a choice to be a failure. Your art is good, it's amazing, and when you tell yourself that, you're going to practice, and you are going to work towards being even better, and you'll start to realize, my art is good. And then it'll be a year from now, you're like, my art was good then, but it's amazing now. And you'll have all those moments where it's like, I believe in myself so much that even if someone hated on me, I'm still good. The beauty about art is that there's no good or bad in terms of what you actually produce, but the only thing that really sets a good artist aside versus a bad artist is how much love and confidence they have in both themselves as an artist and the actual work they put out there. Another point is that you should try things outside of your comfort zone. Even though a lot of artists tend to have styles, you should still be well versed in a lot of different things. I may not be a digital artist, but I should still not be intimidated by digital art. I may not be a painter, but if you ask me to paint, I'm going to try my best. And even when I do things that aren't really familiar to me, stuff that I'm not really used to, instead of looking at it like, oh my God, I should look at it like, oh, this is just another chance for me to grow. This is another opportunity for me to learn. Pick up art books, go on Pinterest, You can look up courses online or follow people, just different artists out there. Look at what they're doing, and if you see a cool technique with the way that they make their composition or the way they use color, whatever the case may be, learn from them. And in a sense, when you start to grow, when you put yourself out there on social media, or I don't know, just in the streets at like a market or whatever the case may be, you may also help people learn and grow too. So as artists, you are always a student of life, and you should always be open to trying new things, new scenery, like whatever the case may be. You can always find inspiration in new places. Me, I have a very abstract style, but even then, I want to try like anime style type stuff. Like I want to try cartoony style type stuff. Will I be doing that all the time? No, but I still want to try it. I've never used gouache paint. I want to get into gouache. I've never used oil paint. I don't even paint like that. I don't even painting, period. I want to try different types of clay. I want to get a film camera. I've never used a film camera, not for creative purposes anyways. So I want to get into that and just learn. And I feel like a real artist is so open to a challenge. So if you feel like you are always producing the same exact type of art, that alone should tell you you are putting yourself in a bubble, and a bubble is not going to help you grow. Do not be stale. Definitely open yourself up to new things. And even if you still stick with your, I guess, general niche, you should still know more than what you're used to. And another point is that you should always be patient with your art. One thing about growing as an artist, especially when you're first starting, is that your art will always be ugly at some point in your process. You'll do your first outline, you're like, oh, this looks good, and as soon as you put your first layer on there, especially if you're painting, it's hideous. But if you stop at that first layer and you say, oh my God, this is bad, mayday, mayday, you'll never see how beautiful that piece turned out. I have never had a single piece where it looked good in the first few steps outside of the initial outline. I've never seen anyone else work on a piece where that first layer didn't look ugly. In order to be a great artist, you have to trust the process and know that things will get better. The biggest thing about any good artist is that they are patient. If you aren't willing to commit to those few hours to work on that piece, downsize. Don't give up, just downsize to something that's a little bit smaller, something that's more manageable. If you start a piece though, if it takes you, 20 hours to work on it, you got to commit to that 20 hours. But don't feel like, oh my God, I shouldn't have started this piece. Not like, no. You keep working on it and you make sure it looks great. You make sure it's whatever vision you had in your head. Make sure it's whatever quality you had in your head. But through all that, never give up. The only people I've ever met, they're like, I'm a bad artist. They stopped before they gave themselves a chance to try. With your art, you should definitely trust the process. Be patient. Another thing, this is mainly for my small business owners out there, don't cheat yourself. So when I say that, I'm not saying charge $1,000 for a simple piece as a newbie artist. Let's be real now. But if you are putting so much effort into things, definitely sell it for a reasonable price. That's just something that obviously it takes trial and error to figure it out, but be fair to both yourself and your customers. Don't make it way more than it actually is. Be honest with yourself, but also don't sit here and charge like you didn't put all that work into it. I was just watching a video the other day and someone was saying if you spent, can't remember the exact numbers he used, but if you spent 40 hours working on a piece and you sell it for $10, you're saying that you're only worth $4 an hour. And that stuck with me. You can sell cheaper art, but sell within your means. If it takes you a certain amount of time to do it and you know that you expect to pay yourself the equivalent of like $20 an hour or $25 or whatever your rates are, you need to make sure that you can squeeze it into that time constraint. Don't cheat yourself. Give good quality work, but at the same time be reasonable, be realistic. And people who truly support you, they will pay the price. People who don't support you, even if you had it for $1, they will still try to find an excuse to say it's too expensive. So be real with yourself. The other part of not cheating yourself is, again, relating to your confidence. You should never sit here and downplay it. If you're an artist, you're an artist. If people ask you, you're an artist. Don't say, I'm not really an artist. I just sometimes do art. No, you're an artist, silly. Say it. You do arts. You're an artist. This is something that you do. This is something that you love. This is your passion. Say it. Don't sit here and cheat yourself or make it seem like, oh, this is just something dumb. This is just, no, honey, it's your passion. Be real about it. Also with that, if people want to see your work, if they want to support you, show them, girl. Put yourself on social media. Put yourself out there. Go to a flea market, girl. Sell your art. Like, Don't sit here and limit yourself. Don't be afraid to be seen. Put yourself out there, and the right people will see you. They will flock to you, and they will be more than happy to support you. And that's not just in terms of buying, but people will sit here and they will give you that verbal support. They will give you that emotional support. They will be your community. Do not cheat yourself from the opportunity to meet the right people, from that opportunity to experience that genuine love and support. Do not cheat yourself. My next point is that bad art is still good art. Again, referencing earlier, bad art is okay. Any good artist, any great artist, any professional artist still has bad art. Everybody still has the art that they don't want to show, that they're not proud of. If they show you their sketchbook, they skip past that page. We all have it. But if it wasn't for that bad art, we would never get to the good art. There's been times when I've made good art, then bad art, then good art again. But if I wasn't practicing, I would never have any art. When you are very intentional about growing and improving your skills, you will definitely have a lot of but that's okay, because even those little, as Bob Ross would say, happy little accidents, they teach you things about what you want to improve on, what you don't want to replicate, how you want to grow. They also teach you a lot about your actual skills and how you want to grow as an artist. So when you see that bad art, it's not necessarily a shameful thing. It's not like, oh, rip it out your sketchbook and throw it away and hope no one ever finds it in the trash can. It's one of those things where it's like, embrace it, girl. You can share that too on social media. I think that anyone who is an upcoming artist would love to see, even the artists that they love and emulate so much, they have moments where they don't love that piece that they made. Bad art is still good art, and you should never be ashamed to say that you had a piece that you don't love, but also be able to embrace those imperfections in that piece. They will lead you to being a better artist. And my very last point is that you should always have fun. When you're doing art, it should never feel like a hassle or a job, because at the root of it, this is your passion. If this is something that is a passion project for you, your heart should always be in it. But the moment you start feeling like, I hate doing this, blah, blah, do the art that you love, do the art that you want to do, and again, the right people will naturally flock to you. The community that will love you, honor you, will naturally flock to you. You have fun. If you want to be on social media, you make your little videos, girl. If you want to show behind the scenes, you show your behind the scenes. If you want to sit here talk about your journey, do that, honey. But you should look at your art as a passion project and less of another hassle that you probably would have just had if you had a traditional 9-to-5. But these are all of my points, and I feel like even though I'm still relatively new to my art journey, still relatively new to my artist journey, I will say that these are some key things that I've learned through my highs and my lows. So that being said, if any of these things helped you guys, or if you guys want to share any of your tips or advice or experience, I would love to hear it. That being said, I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I hope you guys keep growing as artists. That being said, love you guys. Bye.